All right, so we've got the Christensen Arms 6.5 PRC. I'm gonna open this box, see what all we got. So we've got the rifle. Put that off to the side for a second. And then there's an accessories box, which has a pouch of gun oil, a decal, looks like a product advertisement for Lucas Oil Products, owner's manual, and a welcome to the family card from Christensen Arms. Also, we've got the bolt, and what is this? An Allen wrench. Nothing else in there. Yep, that's it. Put all that in there. Put the box off to the side. Let's get a look at this rifle. I see that it's got a Picatinny rail to mount a bipod on. The bipod that I bought is actually for M-lock slots, and luckily I don't have to worry about getting a different bipod because this is all M-lock designed carbon fiber slots built into the forearm. So I will be removing the Picatinny setup and I'll be putting my bipod on right there. Before I do anything, the first thing that needs to be done is this gun needs to be cleaned. This is how it came from the manufacturer, so it's going to have all your packing grease and all that stuff on it. And always remember, the packing grease is not a lubricant. It is not designed to be a lubricant. It is designed to be a rust inhibitor. So just because you see oil all over it does not mean that the gun is ready to just go out and be fired. All right. So I will start by cleaning the bolt. I will clean the bore of this gun, clean the muzzle, the action area. Once the rifle is all clean, I will move on to mounting the scope and installing the bipod. So I decided to make a quick change in my plan. I'm actually going to mount the bipod first before doing anything else to the rifle, because at least that way I can stand the rifle up and create a platform with it. So the Picatinny rail will come off by loosening these two set screws. And then we will set up the bipod. Make sure that the screws are out so that they have room to set. I actually want to have the feet facing forward. And then move that forward. Just getting it finger tight. And then we will clamp her down good. Now you don't have to go stupid tight with these, because you also have to remember this is a carbon fiber forearm and you don't want to damage it. All right, so voila. Next thing we're going to do is clean the rifle. All right, so we've got the rifle ready to be cleaned. One really nice thing about this rifle is it's got a foldable collapsing stock. And the reason that it's nice is without it being able to be folded off to the side, you wouldn't be able to run a cleaning rod from the action out through the muzzle. So just push this button, put it off to the side. First thing I'm going to do is I've got Wipeout Patch Out. This is one of my favorite solvents. It really gets the bore clean. Just run it through on a patch that's saturated. Get a couple of patches out. And what I'll do is I will start the patch. Put a good amount of this on there so that the patch is nice and wet. And I will just slowly push the rod through because I want the solvent to be able to come off of the patch onto the surfaces in the bore of the rifle. Now, I always will put a rag over the muzzle of the barrel. That way, when we are running a wire brush through, we don't have to worry about spatter coming out of the muzzle and spraying everywhere when you're cleaning guns inside the house. So I will take the same patch, turn it inside out, and saturate it again. And just like before, run it through nice and slow so that the solution can come off of the patch and spread through the barrel. So now we will let that sit for a minute. Now I'm going to take a wire brush. I'm going to run that through. Make sure the brush goes all the way out and pull it back out. Always make sure that the brush goes all the way out the end of the muzzle. That way you're not creating a situation where the bristles go from being pushed this way to trying to be pushed that way while still in the barrel, because it'll create a bind point and you could actually risk breaking the wire brush part off of the insert that threads into your cleaning rod. I've actually had that happen by mistake. I was in too much of a rush and I didn't have the brush all the way out of the barrel before trying to pull it back, and the brush just popped right out of the threaded insert, and then I had to just use the bore rod to push the brush out. Well, unfortunately, in the process of doing that, I ruined the tip of my bore cleaning rod and I had to purchase a new one. I'll run through the brush again. Now, I'll take my other rod with the patch jig on it and run that through with a few patches until my bore is clean. Now, look at that. This is just the initial cleaning, and that's how much of a reaction the wipeout patch out had with gunpowder and coppering. So it turns blue with copper from the bullets and black from the gunpowder residue. So I like using this stuff just because it gives you color indications of what is actually being removed, so that you know what you're pulling out of your bore of your rifle. So that was pretty dark. I'm going to end up running a few patches through there. Clean off my bore rod. Put a new patch on. It's actually fairly clean already. If you look, there's still a little bit of blue that it's showing, but otherwise it's pretty clear. Probably run at least 2 more patches through. Make sure that's nice and dry. And this one I'm going to run through nice and slow, just a little bit at a time, so I can really pick up whatever remnants of the wipeout is left. All right, that one is getting better. Run another patch. And one more. That is pretty darn clean if you ask me. It's still showing just a tiny bit of residue, but not enough where it's going to matter to anything. Done with the bore brush, so we can take that rod, put it off to the side. Put the brush off to the side. Try and keep my workbench as clean as I can. All right, now I'm going to just put a little bit of gun cleaner and lube from Hornady One Shot and run it through on a patch. Saturate that real nice. And the reason I do that is because I do not know exactly when I'm going to have this rifle out to shoot, and I want to make sure that there is some kind of lubrication inside the bore. One thing that I will do is when I do go out to the range, I will run one patch through the bore before I shoot the rifle, just in case anything starts to develop inside the barrel. I can flush it out before I start running projectiles through the barrel. All right, so now we can go ahead and bring that back out, remove this. The reason I like using bore guides is because it keeps all the excess solvents and lubricants and everything out of the chamber of your rifle. It keeps it in the bore and only in the bore. Now I'm going to go ahead and clean the bolt. So for the bolt, I'm just going to take some of the Hornady One Shot. Spray it directly onto the bolt and then wipe off all of your excess. That's pretty much all you need to do with that. And now I will go ahead and run a swab in the chamber area and in the action to pick up any excess stuff that is in there. Drop the magazine. I'm actually looking in the action for any solvent or excess lubrication, because right now I want it all out of there. Then I have these really big cotton swabs. Put some lubrication on that, and then just lightly apply some inside the action area where the bolt travels. And that should be pretty gosh darn good. So we'll take the bolt, put it in. All right, so the bolt is clean. It runs smoothly through the rifle. One thing I'm gonna do before anything else is I'm gonna wipe off any remnants of the wipeout from when we were cleaning the bore. All right. Next step, mounting our scope.